A researcher at the University of Warwick studied almost 8,700 Barbies across 13 different countries. He measured one thing only, how much each baby cried every single day. British Barbies cried the most, over 2 hours every day, peaking at 2 hours and 15 minutes at 6 weeks. Canadian Barbies cried 30 minutes more than the global average every single day. Italian Barbies cried so much that 1 in 5 had colic, crying more than 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. And then there were the Japanese Barbies. They cried the least of almost every country studied. Researchers called it remarkable. Parents called it a miracle. And when scientists started asking why, the answer was not genetics, not formula, not a sleep training program. It was something Japanese mothers do instinctively, quietly, and completely differently from almost every other culture on Earth. And today, Sodha is going to show you exactly what that is. To understand the Japanese secret, you first need to understand something about crying itself that most Western parents are never told. A baby does not cry because they are broken, spoiled, or difficult. A baby cries because crying is the only language they have. Every cry is a signal: I am hungry, I am cold, I am overstimulated, I am lonely, I am scared, I need you. And the single most important thing that determines how much a baby cries is not their temperament, not their feeding schedule, not their sleep routine. It is how quickly and how consistently their signals are answered. Japanese parenting culture understood this centuries before neuroscience confirmed it. And it is built into everything Japanese mothers do from the very first day of a baby's life. The first element of the Japanese approach is something called sugunai, which means immediately. When a Japanese baby cries, the response is immediate. Not after finishing a task, not after a few minutes to see if the baby settles. Immediately. Western parenting culture spent decades telling mothers to wait, let the baby self-soothe, do not pick them up too fast, you will spoil them. Japanese mothers never followed this advice. And research from Harvard Medical School now confirms they were right all along. When a baby's cry is answered immediately and consistently in the first months of life, the brain learns something extraordinary. My signals work. The world is responsive, I am safe. And a baby whose brain has learned it is safe cries dramatically less than a baby whose brain is still asking that question. Every ignored cry is the brain asking again. Every answered cry is the brain receiving its answer. Japanese mothers answer every time, and their Barbies stop needing to ask as often. The second element is something uniquely Japanese, the practice of dako, which means constant gentle carrying. Research published in Current Biology led by Kumi Kuroda at the RIKEN Center for Brain Science in Japan demonstrated the importance of carrying crying infants rather than simply holding them, showing how crying Barbies are physiologically affected by being held, carried, and laid down. Japanese mothers carry their Barbies against their bodies for significantly more hours per day than Western mothers, not in a stroller facing away, not in a bouncy seat across the room, against the body, chest to chest, heartbeat to heartbeat. The baby hears the same heartbeat they heard for 9 months inside the womb. Their cortisol levels drop. Their nervous system shifts from alert to calm. Their need to cry to communicate distress dissolves because the source of their comfort is already there, constant, warm, and present. Western parenting culture treated carrying as a convenience. Japanese parenting culture treats it as a biological necessity. The crying data shows which culture was right. The third element is the Japanese concept of ma, the art of reading the space between. Japanese mothers are trained from childhood, through cultural observation and multigenerational wisdom, to read their baby's pre-cry signals. Before a baby cries, there are always signals, a specific facial expression, a change in body tension, a particular sound, a shift in breathing. Western parents typically miss these signals entirely because they are watching their phones, finishing tasks, or simply not trained to notice them. Japanese mothers notice everything. They respond to the signal before it becomes a cry, and a baby whose pre-cry signals are consistently noticed never needs to escalate to full crying because the message was already received at a whisper. This is not magic. It is attention. Deep, patient, culturally trained attention that Japan passes from mother to daughter across generations. The fourth element is perhaps the most counterintuitive, the Japanese practice of low stimulation environments. Walk into a typical Western nursery and you will find flashing lights, musical toys, bright primary colors, multiple screens, and a constant stream of noise and activity. The intention is loving, stimulate the baby, engage their brain, entertain them. But for a baby's underdeveloped nervous system, this level of stimulation is not enriching. It is overwhelming. An overwhelmed baby has only one communication tool, crying. Japanese nurseries are the opposite, soft colors, minimal toys, low voices, calm energy, quiet spaces. The baby's nervous system is never pushed beyond its capacity. There is no overstimulation to cry about. The environment itself is a form of parenting, and Japan has been designing it correctly for centuries, while Western culture surrounded Barbies with more and more and wondered why they kept crying more and more. So here is what Sodha wants every parent to carry with them from this video. Your baby is not crying too much. Your baby is simply talking to you with the only voice they have. Answer them immediately. Carry them close. Learn their whispers before they become screams. And create a quiet, calm space around them that tells their nervous system, you are safe, you are held, everything is okay. That is the Japanese approach. That is Sugunai, Dako, Ma, and low stimulation working together as one complete philosophy of care. It does not require expensive products or complicated programs. It requires presence, attention, consistency, and the quiet, unshakable belief that when a baby calls, you answer. Japan has always answered, and their Barbies have always known it.